Alright, this is Shooting86, and real quick, what we're actually going to do today is we are going to teach you how to use OBS. So we're just going to go through the settings, make sure you understand essentially what you want to do. So the general settings, you don't need to really configure with it much unless you have a specific reason. You can look through here, but for the most part, you don't really need to worry about that. Then we get into streaming. So streaming, you have all the services you can put in, stream key, anything like that. And then this is the next kind of important thing. So for streaming, what I personally like to do is obviously just one audio track for streaming encoder. There's the two encoders. There's also the AMD graphics card one, but this is the NVIDIA graphics card one. For the most part, for streaming, you want to use the X264 one, which puts all of the encoding and everything onto the CPU. Overall, it just makes it more stable. Bitrate, you can actually look up what Twitch's max bitrate is, change it to that. A good set for this is 3500, and then CBR is probably the best way to do it. Don't need to worry about this. The best way to do this is probably, the higher the better, right? So I guess we're trying to use less CPU, that puts less on your PC. Honestly, very fast. It's pretty solid overall. Profile, high. Tuner. You don't need to worry about a tune really for this. And unless you have specific options that you've actually looked up for the encoding, I wouldn't worry about anything like that. For recording, what I actually like to do is I record. This is kind of a standard type. I'm recording, wherever you want to record to. And then the recording format, you can choose through all these. I choose MP4, very easy. I'll let you work in Premiere Pro, no problem. The audio tracks, I actually choose 2 audio tracks, and for local desktop recording I use the NVIC, so right there, use it, no big deal. I don't need to ever rescale because in video, I'll show you in a second, I automatically have it scaling to the right canvas, and I never have any of these settings really worried about. So the best way to do it here is you want to be going high quality, high, CQP 25 I believe is the default, but it's pretty solid overall. That's the way that I would go. Level, automatic, and then you don't need to worry about 2 things on the bottom, but 2 pass encoding is pretty standard. And then the next part out here, that's pretty important. Audio, so this lets you choose audio tracks. For the most part, 250-bit audio is absolutely the way to go. There's no other really way to go around that. Same thing out here. They have all of the devices you can set, desktop, original challenge, the sample rate and all that. For the most part, you can leave it at default. This right here is kind of important. It has base canvas, and for the most part, what you want to do, you see how I have that higher base canvas I could do because I do have a 4K monitor. I don't want to leave it there. Right, I want to, whatever my output scaled resolution is, I want to have this. That way the computer doesn't have to worry about scaling it down. Helps it keep it really smooth. The downscale filter, it doesn't matter if you're doing what I do. However, for the most part, you want to be going sharpen scaling. It'll make it look better, especially for local recording. And then 60 FPS, pretty solid overall. And then the next part, there's hotkeys. Just start and stop recording. And then in here, I never do anything in advance. Everything in here is perfectly okay. And so obviously you set up, a scene, and inside a scene you can have video, something that will record the display, and your own video thing that sets it up like that. And then the actual important part for separating audio tracks is you want to go to Advanced Audio Properties, and then as you'll see, you have these tracks, and since we've only enabled track 1 and 2, as you guys saw earlier, it doesn't matter. So what I actually have is I have the desktop audio recording to track 1, microphone audio recording to track 2, and it would be helpful if you turned on all these in case you added one in, you wouldn't get it recording to several tracks, but that's pretty standard. And then from there, you're just about set to go. If you're recording locally, your CPU should always stay pretty dang low. But there's no big worry. Definitely test out a few of the things, look up more settings. But that's pretty much the basics to make sure you get OBS running as smoothly as possible, as quickly as possible. Thank you so much for watching. This is Shooting86 signing off, and remember, I'm always down to clown. Thanks.